These latter think this way. All our experiences are ultimately true. Our social, professional, family successes or failures are all self-existing things. Our car, television, etc. are all existing things upon which we retain a right of ownership. The law system, are existing things. We must therefore reach happiness, sensuous happiness, through a structured and intelligent organization of our pleasures, laws and rules. Those fellows therefore elaborate a compound of thoughts, concepts and philosophies ascribable, in a broad sense, to political philosophies. They will develop and conceive what we call a materialistic society. Something survives death. Some of them believe and imagine something surviving physical death. They believe in afterlife experiences, when the body will be reduced to dust and will be totally pulverized. A stream of consciousness will keep on experiencing things. One of the most blatant, glaring beliefs in these regards is the one in what we can call intermediate stages, namely some stages into which, skinned from our physical body, there would remain some conscious aggregates that keep on experiencing things. In a sutta, it is interesting to notice that Buddha tells, there is this belief in the intermediate stages. This belief, did he claim, is a wrong belief, which entangles the one who adheres to it into the net of false views, suffering and the cycle of becoming and rebirths. But, take notice in the following. Buddha also said, never believe in anyone, don't believe in me either. You should only accept things when you know that those things are good through your own experiences, and only reject things when you know those things are not good through your own experiences. And only then. Therefore, if the Buddha did understand the cycle of death and rebirth, you should not accept that before you have seen and experienced them yourself. Always remember, this is a key aspect in Theravada Buddhism. Never believe, never deny, never accept, never decline. Only do this if you, through your own experiences, know what is truly good and truly bad. In short, there is a belief that after death, something else and new is going to happen. The ones who believe in or imagine this, think that in reality there is no intrinsic truth to be found within phenomena. They think that the things that we perceive do not really exist the way we do perceive them, that they are illusory and empty of self-inherent reality. But whether beyond, within or outside of them or likened to an ultimate nature inherent to them, they imagine the existence of a ta. It is believed to be a thing, a principle, and a transcendent, immutable and pure truth that is never touched and affected by the relative truth in contingency with phenomena. These ones distinguish two worlds. The world of experiences, of phenomena, the material world, the world of thoughts, about which, generally, they tend to say that it does generate suffering, impurity and that the ones who are bogged down into it are subject to veils, obstructions. The distinct world, supposed to be something else, an absolute, ultimate and transcendent world, a truth, a consciousness, a conscious state, a stage of being, totally unaffected, immutable, unconditioned, non-created and eternal. They therefore create a duality. These latter, as taught by Buddha, the ones believing in the dualistic doctrine, in this idea, are also blinded by the veil of false views and will be subject to many sufferings and to the rebirth cycle. They elaborate what we can call spirituality in a broad sense, or a religious philosophy. Usually, Those are people who will endeavor not to let themselves be spoiled by sensuous pleasures, so as to be committed to something that is allegedly superior, a specific form of discipline, ascetic training or yoga. All this is done to the sake of reaching spiritual experiences, which lie beyond the five sensuous spheres. Buddha tells that in reality, they are not really aware of what they are doing. Obviously, what they do simply lies in transferring their consciousness to a more abstract state of pleasure and desire. Instead of reveling in the nice pleasures and sensations given by the bodily and material organs, these former pertaining to a strongly emotional and profound casual nature, they will choose another option. As their mind is inclined towards this eternalist conception, they will instead only cling to mental experiences. That is the intuitive sense, which is not a material sense but a mental one. The same mistake. Buddha tells that both of them commit the same mistake and that someone very material has the same chances to go around in circles in the rebirth cycle as someone who is very spiritual. Buddha does establish no hierarchy. He doesn't say that the ones are better than the others. He doesn't say that the ones are more intelligent and higher than the others. He simply says that both are mistaken. Whether we follow a political philosophy, steps through which we try to convey a meaning to this world, a sociological, political and economical truth, or else a step of self-purification, penance, yoga, spiritual uplifting or transcendence, he tells, this is the same mistake. Even if these steps apparently exclude one another, they both fit in the same type of reality, the same concept. It is here about an erroneous concept that it does exist in a way or the other an entity, whether found in this world or beyond, in this body or being this body itself, whatever it is, whether it is a transcendent stage, a state of being, a state of consciousness, or simply the truth of cosmic matter, which, one day or the other, will have to totally disappear. In all cases, we find this concept of Anatta. Whether it is a sensual experience, a thought or an idea, we imagine this latter to be, in a way or the other, an intrinsic reality, a self-inherent nature. And apart from Anatta, there is not, in Pali language, any word to express this. It is here convenient to rather use the Sanskrit word Buddha, which means the intrinsic nature of what rests upon itself. This may not be a perfect grammatical translation, but it is however the idea that is conveyed by this word. You will also hear some spiritual masters giving a talk about something by telling you, this is ineffable, this is transcendental, it is this and that's the way it is. When you have totally transcended the world of phenomena, the world of duality, of egotism, the material world, you have permeated the suchness, the self, the conception of the divinity. Everyone has got his own. Afterwards, everyone according to his religion, some of them will claim that this is Brahma, the Supreme Being. Some others will say, this is God or this is Allah. Here, we will find a school that imagines that this being, beinghood and reality, indeed is a being. We find the ones who are telling you, no, this is not a being who created the world. This is simply an impersonal reality, a fact, a state of being that is here. That simply is exclamation. Thus, Buddha, owing to his omniscient knowledge, and mostly backed up with his own experience, has noticed that among eternalists, there are two ways to conceive the deity or Buddhahood. we find that ones who believe in a being, supreme, an eternal, immutable, omniscient, unconditioned and supreme God who has, in a way or the other, created the world. The world may be constituted of a compound of phenomena which follow one another, superimpose one another, and among which, each of them is the fruit of the previous one. If, by the way, we go back to immemorial times, there would be a primal moment, a primal cause that is the divine being. This explanation given by Buddha is almost, in the same words, also well explained in the theological summer of St. Thomas d'Aquin, into which this latter almost paraphrases the monk Gautama. Buddha tells that it's one of the two ways, obviously erroneous by nature, to conceive or explain Anatta, the deity. In this case, Buddha will prefer to use a specific word. He will talk about Brahma. Indeed, Anatta and Brahma are one and the same thing, but, when we back up with the viewpoint of a creative being, Buddha uses the word Brahma instead. There is the other way to conceive the beingness, the suchness, Buddhahood, the suchisness. In this case, Buddha will rather use the word Anatta. It lies in asserting that the world is a compound of phenomena, which follow one another, superimpose one another, since immemorial times, these latter being devoid of primal cause and end. But we can also find in this world, whether within or outside of phenomena, or as a nature inhabiting, inherent to them, an eternal, transcendent, perfect, ineluctable and immutable principle.